All right, interpreting the discriminant. So this is the second part for lesson 2.6, right? We have to interpret the discriminant. So the discriminant is going to be b squared minus 4ac. So our quadratic formula is net opposite of b plus or minus, right? X equals opposite of b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So the discriminant is that b squared minus 4ac. That value, once you get b squared minus 4ac, what's under the radical, it can be greater than 0, 0, or less than 0, right? A positive number, 0, or a negative number. If it's greater than 0, if it's a positive number, then you're going to have two real solutions, okay? If it equals 0, then you're going to end up with square root of 0, which is 0, and you're going to end up with one real solution. Right, and if it's a negative, right, then you're going to end up with a complex solution because we're going to end up with an I when we take our square root, right? The other side note is if you have real solutions, okay, real solutions can either be rational or irrational. Rational solutions are when you can write it in the form a over b, you can write it as a fraction, where a and b are whole numbers or integers, really, because they can be negative, the whole numbers and the negative whole numbers. Right, so a over b can be 0 and b can't be 0. Okay, or irrational, where you're going to be left with a radical in your answer. So if you're left with a square root of 3 or a square root of 5 in your answer, then it's going to be irrational. But rational and irrational solutions are both real, right? Rational and irrational numbers are both real numbers. So let's look at an example here. A is going to be 4. B is going to be negative 4. And C is going to be 1. Okay, so I'm just going to find b squared minus 4ac, which is going to be negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1. That's going to be 16 minus 16, which is going to give me 0. Okay, so the value of my discriminant is 0. And if the value is 0, I'm going to have one real solution. They put one repeated real solution, but it's just one real solution. They're not going to have two different values. Wonderful. Okay. Next, again, we're going to be looking at the same thing here. So in this case, we have a equals 1, b equals 9, and c equals 2. So in this case, if a is equal to 1, we can do b squared minus 4ac. We get 9 squared minus 4 times 1 times 2. So that's 81 minus 8, which is going to be 73. So my discriminant is 73. Okay. Determine the type of solution. So when you take the square root of your discriminant, we're going to take the square root of it. This is not a perfect square. If it was a perfect square, we would get real or rational solutions. Since it's not a perfect square, we're going to end up with irrational solutions. So it's going to be two real solutions. Oh, that's it. They only want real. Yep, it's positive. Okay, so it's positive, so they're going to be real solutions, positive 73. Okay, and then if they asked us for rational or irrational, they would have been irrational because we have to take the square root. Okay, but that's fine. Just two real solutions. All right, maybe it's the next one that asks us that. All right, so the next one. All right, we're going to do a is 3, b is 8, and c is 5. So b squared minus 4ac is my discriminant. So this is going to be 8 squared minus 4 times 3 times 5, which gives me 64 minus, let's see, that's 20 times the minus 60. 12 times 5, yep, which gives me 4. So my discriminant is 4. All right, so that's going to be two real solutions because it's greater than 0. And this is where they're asking us. So when we take the square root of our discriminant, we're going to get a 2. Right? Since 2 is a rational number, we're going to have two rational solutions, right? They're going to be real and they're going to be rational. And there we go. Okay, so that's the idea there. One more, let's do one more because we got one more. All right, so A is 2, B is 3, C is 2. So we get 3 squared minus 4 times 2 times 2. That's going to be 9 minus 8 minus 16 is going to be -7. Okay, -7 is less than 0, so we're going to have two complex solutions that are not real. Okay, so that's all we're doing for the second part.